I have finally found another Hallmark film that I think is awful. I am a very big fan of Hallmark. I've seen over 100 of their films now. Most of them have been the Christmas films, but I've started watching their non-Christmas films. And for the most part, apart from two of them, I've enjoyed every one. Then we get to Mismatched. This is the 2016 film directed by Mark Jane, and I'm really disappointed with this one because the writing is appalling. The characters are, well, one of the characters is horrifically written, and her actions are just ridiculously unbelievable. And as I said, I love Hallmark. It's rare that I leave a film feeling like this, and it's a shame because the premise is really interesting. It's set primarily at a wedding expo, and Libby is a pretty successful wedding planner, and she meets two clients who are engaged, and she thinks, jackpot, we can help plan their wedding. But at the same expo, we also have Ben, who is writing a book called Wedding Day Do's and Don'ts. He actually has a background in finance, so the book is all about how to have a wedding without, spending loads and loads of money, which obviously as a wedding planner is the exact opposite of what Libby's trying to get the couples to achieve. And obviously it's all about what direction is this couple going to take, what's the relationship between Ben and Libby like, and that's the problem. I love the setting. I love wedding-based Hallmark films because they're always so visually beautiful. The colour schemes are always a delight to look at. They're always very brightly lit. The costumes are always gorgeous. There's a lot of cake, which makes me hungry. I love them. But unfortunately, Libby is one of the worst written characters I have ever seen. Now, PenaVega, who plays her, absolutely fantastic, very well acted. The emotions she expresses are believable in the moment, but unfortunately, everything about this character makes no sense. And the best way to describe it is Ross and Rachel's entire relationship throughout the 10 seasons of Friends, if it were condensed into one episode. She goes back and forth completely with how she feels about Ben. 1 minute, he's the biggest bleep in the world. The next minute, she's praising him and madly in love with him. And I can see what they were trying to do. They were trying to show that her emotions were conflicting because on the one hand, he's hindering her business. On the other, she's fallen for his charm. But there's nothing about him that she seems to praise specifically. It is just a case of she admires his looks and therefore is madly in love with him, but he could jeopardize her business. And she goes back and forth so much, even in the same scene. She can praise him, then snap at him, and then praise him, again praise him for nothing. By praise him, I guess I just mean agree with him. And she's so badly written that what happens at the end of the film with this character, and I won't divulge it in case you want to watch it. If you're a Hallmark fan, I do recommend you watch it just to make up your own mind. As I said, there were a lot of things about this that were really pleasing, but not the protagonist, and that's a bit of a problem. What happens with the character at the end was just completely unrealistic, and also they were trying to keep it sneaky and trying to hide it, and kind of trying to make this big reveal, but it was blatantly obvious. I feel like that the scene that came before the final scene was rushed. That should have come sooner in the film, and they should have had a bit more time developing the characters in the events that would have happened between the penultimate scene and the final scene. This will make a lot more sense if you've seen it. But ultimately, Mismatched has an amazing premise and some really good points, but the character of Libby, her behaviours, her actions, and her chaotic emotions completely ruin what could have otherwise been a truly delightful film.